Welcome to this video, guys. In this video, we are going to design our first interface. And this, of course, this is exercise project. So make sure that you do it, okay? And I want to see you doing it very well. If you like, you can change the color that we are going to be using here. If you like, you can. In fact, don't even change the color. Because it is when you change the color that you're going to be working with, color that will not match. Go with the color that I choose for you. Because if you're looking at good start from onset, then you are training your eyes. You are still going to have lecture on how you can improve as a designer. But for now, do what I'm doing here. I'm going to be trying my best to be telling you the color code I'm going to be using. So we are going to be designing this one together. This is a website, nav bar. This is the header, and then this is the hero sections. We are still going to have like a lecture on how to organize a website. So let me highlight all of these, and I'm going to give it. Don't worry, let's just continue doing it. So what you want to do first is you want to create a logo. We are creating everything from this design from scratch. All right. You want to create this logo. You can create logo with any tools. You can create logo with pen tool, but this is just a letter. So let's just do it the same way it is. So click on T on your keyboard, select the text tool, and then type the text here. So I want to write B, and make sure that your typography font family is set to Inter like this, okay? And then make sure that the font size is set to 50. So I want to write now. I'll just write B like this, okay? And you can see this is set to regular. So make sure that you set it to bold italic like this, okay? You can see it as in bold now. And I'm going to change the second color to what we have here, this orange, okay? So go to your field, then click on this text because one you have down there is white. Change it to this color. The color code is FF7903. All right. And don't let us change this first color so that we know that this is our own design. Let me even bring it here so that we don't have to be scrolling down all the time. So the next thing that we have here is all these menus. We call this navigation link. All these menu links here. So we have home, about us, podcast episode, resources, and these two buttons here. Okay. Now we know how to design a button. Let me drag it here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to zoom in like this. I'm going to click on T on my keyboard. I'm going to type home like this. So you can see we are still using Inter or Inter. What we have here is I don't want us to have this Inter here. I want us to have Manrope here. That's the font family I'm going to work with. And I'm going to set it to medium like this. And this is going to be 18, like a DC. All right. So we have home. If you want to duplicate, you can right click and click on duplicate. In fact, we don't even have one here. We don't have duplicate. I don't know where Figma take it to. I don't even know where that duplicate is, to be honest. But what I do always is I just click on, you can click on Control D, yeah. Control D, you can see that has been duplicated. You can then drag it like this, right? But I don't do that. I am used with the shortcut. Just hold Alt on your keyboard and then right click and drag like this. This I always do it. That was why I forget the place that it is now. So the next thing that we have here is about us. And then we have podcast episodes like this. And then we have resources. Okay. Resources like this. And then you can see this icon. You can design this icon from scratch, but I told you not to be doing this kind of stuff from scratch. So you can use plugin for that. So go to your plugin, go to these actions, and then click on plugin and widget. So you can search for Iconify here now. I have it. I use it all the time. So search for Iconify and open it. If you are not online, if you don't have data, you can't do this. You have to have data. So then this icon, what do you think the name will be? Of course, this is going to be drop down icon. Drop down. Okay. You can see there are plenty. You can see here. You don't actually see the one that we have here. So you can click on just down. Okay, let me put the name together like this. Well, let me just click on down. So you can see we have it here. This one is looking like it. I'm going to bring it in. Okay. And I'm going to select it, and I'm going to now go down to selection color, not fill, but selection color. Because if you go to fields now, it will not be the icon that you have inside. You know, this is like a frame, and then you have the icon inside. You can select the icon and go to fill, of course. But if you select this icon name, the way it was named from Iconifan, you have to go to selection color, and then you click on the black color, you change it to white like this, and then you can drag here. Okay. All right, so both of these, click both of them and then you group them. How do you group now? You can group by pressing Ctrl G. This is making it to be grouping, but I always advise for you to be framing them instead of grouping them. And to frame is Ctrl, Alt, and G, as we have been doing. And I'm going to call it resources drop down link like this. Okay. Don't worry, all of this you are going to be doing with auto layout. I don't do this. I can't remember the last time I do this thing like this. So then we can center it. How do we center it? You can try to center it with your eyes, or you can click on center particle like this. Okay. We are still going to be talking about alignment. So the next thing that we have is we have subscribe button and we have the join button. So let's type the word subscribe. Subscribe. The next thing that we are going to do is what? Press right click, and then you go to add auto layout like this. Alternatively, the shortcut to that is what? Shift and A. So if you right click, you can see we have Shift and A. That's what I always do. So press Shift and A to add a shortcut. Okay. And then you can call it button. Okay. So let's see what we have here. Let's see the spacing. We have 20 to the right and to the left by 20 pixels, and then top and bottom to be 1010. So that's a nice trick to design a nice button. You can make your padding, your vertical padding to be, your horizontal padding to be times 2 of your vertical padding. So if this one is 10, then this one is going to be 20 like this. It's a nice trick. But of course, if you know what you are doing as a designer, all of these things are just like, you don't have to follow any particular rule. So now you can then put what we have here, this stroke here. You can add it. So make sure it's 1, and then you set it to white like this. Okay. So that's it. You can then duplicate it, press Alt, and then you drag like this. Okay. So the space between them, I want it to be, let me check here. This should be 8 or something, 9. Okay, you can make it 9, doesn't matter. But let's make our own 8 like this. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that this particular color is set to, you can set it to black like this, and set this one to, and give this one fill. Okay. But what I like to do is I don't always go with white, a black like this. I always set it to something like maybe 2A, 2A, 2A like this, right? For it not to be too dark. Okay, this is cool. Okay. So let's select all of this like this, group them together, and then just Ctrl, Alt, and G to frame them. So you can call them nav link like this. Okay. And then this one, both of them, select them together, and Ctrl, Alt, and G then. That's frame selection, and then we can call them nav buttons. All right. And all of this one together like this, click on these nav links, these nav buttons, and then Ctrl, Alt, and G. So group them, you can call this one, let's just call them now nav bars. Okay, nav bar. It's only one. And inside this nav bar, we have 2 items, right? See the way I'm organizing them. We have nav buttons here, and we have nav links here. Okay, you can see now, if I should give this nav bar a color, let me give it like maybe unsaturated color. You can see that this one is not center, it's at the top. So if you want to center it, just click on here now, and click on vertical center here. You can see now it's centered. So I'm going to click on nav bar and remove that color again. This color is just for emphasis. Okay, so let's drag now this nav bar and this logo. Let's make sure that they are like this. Okay, I'm going to click on this logo. This logo, we can rename it here, logo, like this. And then navbar. So what I want to do, I want to group them again into a frame. I want to frame them actually. So that's Control, Alt, and G. And I'm going to call them header now. Okay, that's header of our website. And I want to make sure that the width is set to 1440, like this. Okay, and then we can then center this one and center this one as well. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that they both have this spacing that we have. You see, we have 120 here, and here we have 120 here. We will talk about grid because this spacing now is not really clear to you. It will not be really clear to you. So what I want us to do is I want us to put the color that we have here. I want us to just make sure that that header have a color. So click on the header, go to fill, just type 1A, 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 like this. Okay. Remove this thing. If you have that nonsense there, just remove it. This is what we have. And don't forget, click on this logo and then just be clicking shift and click on your right arrow like this so that you can move it right. You want to have it to be left padding to be 120 like this, and then the right padding to also be 120 like this. It's at 72 now. You want to make it 120 like this. Okay. So you can then center both of them. Now it's not perfect, of course, because if I want to make it perfect, I have to use something that I've not taught you, and I don't want it to be confusing. So now let me now shift this one. Like, no worry, let me just make sure it's here. Okay. And up next, this is the header. Let's now design the hero section. You can see that it is to design. You can see now it's not very hard if you know Figma. So I'm just going to click on frame, and I'm going to click and drag like this. All right. So what do we have here? We want to have 1440 by some height. Let's go with this is 90. We can adjust that later on. Okay. So I'm going to call this particular one hero. And I like to structure my design like this. So this is header, this is hero. We can also have pricing, you can have features, and so on and so forth. So this hero now, all you want to do is want to give it a color first. So you can see it has this white color now. FFFF is white. So let's give it 1A, 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 like a DC. All right. And you can see it's chain label vibrant. This is the color from the design library component. So you can click on detach variable to detach it like this. And what we have interest in is 1A, 1A. Okay. So the next thing is want to mimic this style here. How can we mimic it? You can see this style is just some cycles. So you can click on O on our keyboard, or go to this shape tool and select this O and click shift and drag like this. And what you have interest in, you want to make the width and height to be 460 like this. Okay. Like this, 460. Okay. So we can lock the aspect ratio here. If you lock it, if you make changes here, so if suppose you want to make it 500 now, with the height to be adjusted accordingly. Okay. Maybe we can make it like this. Maybe let's make it 560 for now. 560 for now. This is cool. And I'm going to select this blue. Let's go with some blue here. I don't want us to go with something that is too saturated. Let's go with this particular blue. 08188B. 08188B is the color code. And you can choose the color code of your choice. So what I want us to do is I want us to go to effects. So add effects and then go to layer blur, right? Uniform, I'll make it to be 360, like this. Okay, that's how we achieve that. All right. So what we want to do now is we want to write the text here. Okay, so I'm going to click on T now, and I'm going to type. So we are going to type engaging. Okay, so I want us to make this test. Let's even look at the test. you can see it's plus Jakarta Sans, and it's set to extra bold. And then the size is 80. That's the test point. So let's click on plus Jakarta Sans like this. Select it first too. Okay. In fact, after you select it, highlight it like this. Just double click on it, highlight it, and click on and search for. Click on here, search plus Jakarta Sans like this, and then make sure it's set to 80. Okay. And then this one is going to be bold, I think. Okay, extra bold. Is it? Like this. Okay. So we can then type engage conversation that I'm pressing enter there. Okay. So if you are on auto height, auto width like this, and you want to make it to come down, what you do is you press enter. That's what I didn't tell you when we were talking about text. Engaging conversation that ignite change. Inspire. Let me just type that very fast. Inspire growth. Okay. There we go. So that's how we have that. So this one, so you can type this one. But for now, I'm just going to bring this one here. You can type this one. You can just select and type this one and just type something. But I'm going to tell you the property. So you can see, I want you to pay attention to what we are doing here. Here we have Manrope. Okay. The text, the font family here is Manrope. And here we have plus Jakarta Sans. Those are the fonts that we're working with on this interface. This one is typed with Inter, but this is just a logo. This one can be icon. This is not among the text. So make sure that you only use two font face in your design. Don't use more than that. All right. If it's possible, you can even use one. Sometimes use just only one. Don't use 3, 4. This one is not among, please. This one is just like a logo. All right. If you know what you are doing, of course, you can use 3. For example, sometimes you can use 3, even up to 4. But it's going to be in specific places. Like maybe I want to write somebody's name in a slightly different style. But not like maybe I'm going to use this one like plus Jakarta Sans. I'm not going to use this one as Inter, this one as Manrope, that kind of stuff. It will not make sense. Okay? So that's just like a pro tip that I share with you. Okay? So you can see what I'm doing now. I am moving this to get close to this header, this euro. I want you to get close to it because we are going to group both of them together. I want it to have no space. So just click on this euro and then click on Alt if you have more space, and then click on arrow like this, top arrow, that there will not be space. You can see now we have one, now we don't have any. So now they have joined together now. But they have not really joined together until we group them. So select this euro, select this header, and click on Control, Alt, and G. Okay. Alternatively, you can right click and click on frame selection like this. And then we can call them, let's just call them home for now. Okay. Of course, the home is not completed because this is a long website. If you want to see the remaining part of this website, you can go to my portfolio on Behance. You will see the way it looks like. Maybe you can still work on it throughout this lecture actually. So what do we have now? We have join our, you can type this thing. I'm not going to type that. So let me read it for you. The text is plus Jakarta Sans, regular 16. The line height is 150 pixels. Join us as Brilliant Boomer. Join us as Brilliant Boomer shows as we dive deep into thought-provoking discussions with change makers from around the world. Tune in for stories, insights, and lessons that will broaden your perspectives. Okay, so you can carry this on and put it here, like at this. Okay. So we have grouped them, have we not? We have grouped them, but we make the mistake of not letting this euro be inside. So we have to make this euro be inside. So I'm going to do this, carry this euro, and put inside like this. Okay, what we do is that this euro is actually inside the header, so we can bring it outside. Okay. If your own is not like that, just leave it. And then I'm going to bring this header inside here. Now that I've taught you how to use layer panel, that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Okay. So what I want us to do, we have 120 padding left. So we want to make it to be 120 like this. You can see that's one thing about with spacing. You have to make your space 120. It will not make sense if you make this one 120 and you make this one 80 to the right. But make it uniform. 120 here, 120 here, 120 here. All right. This one is not up to that. So it's okay by this particular amount. So let's just make it here. Let's just shift it. So we can make this one to be like 80 or something. Doesn't matter. Depends on your design. Okay, let's just make it 80 now. You can see we have even more space here. But I'm going to make sure that this one is like this to just to have what we have. So we can bring our button here that we already designed in our previous lecture. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a uniform spacing again. You can see what we have here. We have 20 here. So what we have here too, I want it to be 22. Now we have 35. But I want to make it to be 20 like this too. All right. Okay. So you're almost done, apart from this particular stuff, this design. Okay. So this design is very simple. Let me even see what we have here. So we have the color is 251D58, and of course that's a circle, 95 by 95. So I'm going to click on O to activate circle, and then I'm going to just click and drag the circle here. Okay. I click on shift to make sure it's perfect circle. So you can see we have the same width and the same height. I'm going to load the aspect ratio, and I'm going to set the sizing to 95 by 95, right here like this. Okay. And I'm going to copy this color style, color code 251D58. All right. I'm going to copy it here like this. But you can see this is set to 100%. I'm going to make it 70% like this. Okay. And I'm going to give it stroke. The stroke should be white like this. And it should be 1. The weight should be 1. Okay. Now it is too white. We can make it to be 70 like this too. Okay. That's the offer amount, the opacity. And then this thing that is inside here, of course, this is star. So let's draw the star too. So just go to this shape too and click on star. And shift and drag like this. And you can see this one is having 5 hands. But what we have interest in is 4 ends like this. All right. So you can then select this star and then this ellipse and group them together. You can click on Ctrl, Alt, and G to group them together. We can call this style. Probably like, let's just call it circle design. I don't even know what to call it. Circle design. Like this. So where we can select both of these, star 11 and circle 11, and then align them horizontally and center vertically like this. That way what is inside will center with this circle. Okay. I think now we can click on this circle design. I think this one is more to the bottom like this. So we can make this one out to be 120 to the right like this. Okay. Okay, I think that's all. You can see now. So one thing that we can just make sure our design has some more effect. In fact, there's no even available here, or we can do it here. You can see that this particular design is not showing in this header. That's because of this header is on top of the arrow. Okay. And we can just achieve it to be showing in this arrow by moving this arrow to on top of the header. Now you can see it's not showing. Why is it not showing? That's because of this arrow. This home does not have that color. Okay? It doesn't have the color. So for us to make sure it has the color, let's just click on fill like this. And then the color, don't forget, is 1A, 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 like this. Don't know what is going on. So just select this color and then that color has a style before. And it's still not showing. And to be honest, the reason why it's not showing now is because of clip content here is set to clip. So click on the arrow and check your own. After the layout, you see this particular stuff called clip content. Just uncheck it like this, and you can see it showing. Now it's now showing info pass more than the home. So that means we have to clip the home like this, clip content. Okay, when we clip the contents of the home layout, we don't see the header again. Okay, if your own is not, if you don't want to do this, you can actually stop. But I want it to look a little bit perfect. So we can then adjust the sizing. You click on Control, hold Control, and then adjust it like this. You may not click Control, it will still work, but then some things are going to be changing based on what I've not taught you about this constraint. Okay, but don't worry, just undo that, click Control, and then you drag like this. Okay, when you drag like this, you can see when you have that 2 star, that 2 red stuff. Look at that on top of VB. You can see you have 2 red stuff saying that this is the end of the header. So now you are good to go now. And I think it's now making more sense than what it was before. Okay? But this is your assignment, and this is how you submit it. So just when in your own file, not here, just right click it here and then click on copy. That's Ctrl C. And then go to the student page on this file. And then you can see my own design. Where's my own design? Is it here? Okay, it's here. Okay, this is your own page, right? So my own is here. And I'm going to go to my own here. And I'm going to paste this thing here. That's Ctrl V. Just click on paste here. You can see now it is now pasted. Okay. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Click on the home, copy, and select your dashboard. This report sheet here, report sheet. Control, right click, right click, and click on paste here. So you can see we have it there. So drag it to the center like this, and then this is going to be your assignment. Okay. So I expect that you submit this assignment before our next class so that I can access it. All right. And if you have any issue, please tell me down in our group chat. All right. Have a nice time. I will see you next week.